Going on? What's going on? Welcome to another exciting episode of the Extraordinary Man Podcast. You guys know who I am by now, and if you don't, let me remind you. I'm Phil Jones, Mike Jones. Have you guys know me personally, professionally, and I am one half of the podcast hosts of the Extraordinary Man Podcast. You guys should know who the incredible gentleman on the other side of me is. He should go without no introduction. The internet likes him better than me. I like the fact that the internet likes him better than me. He is the greatest. At what? Name it. It don't matter. You probably didn't even notice, but as soon as I started complimenting him, the colors went off in his background because he's so great. I mean, that man could set a volcano off with his presence. Only because he turned on a tectonic plate. State your name.
I am Midas. Make sure you put a king in front of that. Let's go.
All right. So, it's been a minute, man. Obviously, last time we did our thing, you were actually physically down here. You were sitting, we were having the red chair talk. Not the red table, but the red chair talk.
Right.
Yeah, man. I know you miss Florida. Florida miss you too. We definitely got to do it again sometime in the near future.
Yeah, man. That was a ball, man. I had fun.
Yeah, absolutely. And one thing I'm looking at is the content when we together, the flow, the energy, everything like that. But, like all good things, they must come to a abrupt end.
Yeah,
but
right.
We still get it on how we get it on. But today, we got a topic to talk about, and I have no idea how we got to this place. So before we even get into this topic, let's just do a little dribbling around before we get to the dunk contest. So, thirstiness, men's desire to feel wanted, the supplement for a real meaningful relationship of any sort. The fact that online has created this medium that's bigger than porn, far bigger than porn ever was, to where dating, things that are natural to people, such as going outside to go and meet people, have been supplemented into an online medium. And now the atmosphere is tilted heavily against majority of men. What is your take on this?
I kind of feel some type of way of calling it thirsty, because that's just a basic natural human, behavior of yearning for a partnership, companionship, wanting to have someone available to share all your wins with, and, blah, 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 create a family with. And I think that the way that, the balance beam has been tilted, has really tainted men's admiration, per se, to want to pursue, because of that particular word. We're viewed as thirsty, we're viewed as creepy, we doing too much, and da 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 da, and the list just goes on. So yeah, men aren't wanting to pursue anymore.
So, in that respect, and just listening to you say that, because I use the word thirsty, not so much because of the fact that this is my opinion, but this is based off of the opinions of women who, when a man, one thing I was trying to explain the other day to a young lady is that we don't care about a lot of things that women think that we care about. The things that they value, or the things that they think that we value, that they're trying to compete with us in a lot of places, we don't care about.
Correct.
How much money she makes, how educated she is, how much information that she's gained over her lifetime through her struggles and trials and tribulations, that does nothing for us. That does nothing for us. Your struggle only makes you more combative. Mm-hmm. As a man, one thing that we know is that developing a thick skin through our constant rejection, through our constant battling for positions, battling for authority, battling every day as a battle. In the house, outside of the house, you name it, every day is a battle.
And it shouldn't be in the house.
Every day is a battle. And the thing is that it's not always a battle between women and man. Sometimes it's battle between man and bills. Sometimes it's a battle between man and kids. Sometimes the battle between man and neighbors. Sometimes the internal battle between man and himself. So, the spectrum is wide when it comes down to the concept of fighting. But this is something that we are accustomed to. We're constantly trying to push ourselves, elevate ourselves, and we feel something deep down rooted in us that's it almost hurts in a way when we get put to a place to where we're at a limitation. When you get to a wall and you feel like, man, I'm hit, I'm at my boundary line.
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely, what I'm saying, and I can speak on, my particular situation, or we could save for another show, but I can definitely, recently, this week, last week, can speak to where you feel like you hit a limit and you trying to bounce back. You know what I'm saying? You in the middle of trying to put a plan B in place, but plan A failed way too early or way early than you expected, and now you ain't got no plan A or B, and you trying to get you trying to gain your bearings and get back in order. So I definitely understand that.
Yeah, whereas I might have wanted to monkey branch from A to B, now I got snipped before I barely got off the launch pad.
Mm-hmm.
And B just looked that much further away because now it's like, how am I supposed to get all the way over there with this much rope? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But in essence, when it comes down to the specific subset, which leads into our subject matter for the day, is that you hit the nail on the hammer when you say that it's basic instinct for desire of companionship. Now, the thing is, when it comes down to it, is there's two things that I think are pretty well understood. Women control the access to sex and men control the access to relationships.
And it'll never change.
So, I mean, there are some offshoot situations where you have men who chase women. But there are reasons for that. I can't speak on the myriad of reasons that there are for that situation. But as far as concerned, by and large, most women are not going to the man to ask the man to marry him. Most women are not looking to go and do the legwork to pursue their ideal mate. They are usually the pursuees rather than the pursuers in most situations. Whether you're at the club, whether you're wherever you are. And in the online market, it is the wild, wild west, if you will. That's the best I could say about it. Now, I have very limited experience in dealing with anything as far as meeting people on the internet outside of, Facebook, MySpace. Early on when like the Black Planets and
the OGs.
Yeah, the OGs, because I'm not going to go down a rabbit hole with the OG sites. But, there are certain places where you met people and, you talk to them, you had conversations. You may or may not have met them in person. But that was like the precursor to a lot of the stuff that you see today. Well, here's what happens. The sexual marketplace is so saturated with so much cheap indulgence that porn at one point in time used to be on a VHS or a DVD, and you had to have access to it. Now you could trip, fall, and land on the site. Thousands of clips and videos all at your disposal. You have the rise of OnlyFans and Hubster and various other sites that are similar in nature to the OnlyFans platform. And even more so than that, the world of online dating. What was the OG site? You remember what was that? Plenty of Fish.
Oh yeah.
Remember when that site first came out? How they advertised it as such a nice, wholesome thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think the next one after that, and nobody directly quote me on these. I'm just trying to fly off memory with this. Christian Mingle, I think, was the one that came off next.
Yeah, I don't know if it was right after that, but yeah, but Christian Mingle was a big one.
Well, I'm thinking like basically like the ones that stand out.
Yeah, then it was like country only, country girls only, something like that.
But it's like after a while, it's like
farmers only.
Farmers only. So we watch the evolution of the dating site as far as people going online, putting profiles together to try to meet people. Well, statistically, no different than the dating market is out here currently. It's the same way, if not worse, online. You swipe to connect. Women won't talk to you. They won't even entertain you, won't even look past you. And the data is clear that a small subset of the male population, majority of the girls want that small subset of men.
Yeah, that's it.
What are your thoughts on that part?
Well, before we even go there, you touched on something a little bit ago where you was talking about how them not even putting in the work. We can start there. You desire this specific type of man. You want this specific type of man. You want him to have these specific type of attributes, features, built-in feature, whatever you want to call it, status, everything, the whole nine. Okay. Then you want him to also be a unicorn. He need to cook, clean. Saying he need to be hung like a horse and all this and all that and everything in between. But when you said put the work in, I don't think that there is a massive amount of work that's being done on that side of the sexual marketplace to where they're putting themselves in position to be able to attract these type of men, to attract the Michael B. Jordan to the world, to attract the Dwayne, the Rock Johnsons of the world, to attract, whoever of the world. So with that being said, going back over into these online dating apps and, they're completely just breezing over and blowing over these men. And when you take that into consideration of, okay, well, are you in position to be able to receive this specific type of man? When this perfectly, white collar individual here, he does make, maybe 80, 90 a year, decent car, decent house. He's going to make sure that you taken care of, but you blow over him because you're so programmed to try to find the unicorn guy that's really, really very small versus a wide amount of women that want that unicorn guy.